What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod, and I'm coming at you now with another one of my starter deck challenges. For those of you guys who don't know exactly how these work, basically the scenario is something like this. Let's say you were going to a regional, a YCS, an ARG event, something kind of major, and for some reason or another you do not have your deck. You either forgot it, it got stolen, whatever the case may be. And all you have at your disposal is enough money to go out and get 3 copies of whatever the latest starter deck or structure deck at that time. So in this scenario, it is 3 of the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown decks. So these ones are kind of interesting because there's no real extra deck cards in them. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, at least in my opinion. But with the mighty power of the pendulums, hopefully we can overcome and still build a somewhat competitive deck. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So, for those of you guys who do not know what already comes inside one of these Super Starter Space-Time Showdown decks, so I'm going to go ahead and open one of them up for you. Now, here we go. You actually get 2 bonus packs in here. The way we're going to do this is, since you're guaranteed a Dark Hole and an Odd Eyes Dragon, if you want, you can go ahead and use those 2 cards, and only those 2, in your construction of the deck, because those are the only 2 that are guaranteed to pull from those packs. Alright, so for the rest of them, here is the cards that you're able to get. The new Pendulum Monsters, alright, and then a buttload of normal monsters. So this deck is going to be like normal monster beatdown style. And then a bunch of actually new cards that came out in this starter deck. So that's kind of cool. So we get to toy around with a bunch of new, different kinds of cards that are going to be at our disposal. Oh, and of course, Supply Squad. Probably one of the better cards that we're going to be able to use. Mystical as well. You know, hopefully we don't run across, you know, any kind of hat variant decks or really artifacts in general. I'm sure at a YCS or regional or ARG event, the odds of running across one of those decks are going to be slim to none. So, alright. And some pretty decent traps in the deck actually, so that's kind of cool. Alright, we're getting down here towards the end. And that's pretty much everything that we have at our disposal. Okay, so just to go over the rules in a little bit more depth, like I was saying earlier, what I'm going to do is construct a deck utilizing just the cards that are available to me in these 3 starter decks. And then I'm going to present that deck to you. Alright, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright YouTube, and here is the deck that I've come up with, utilizing just 3 copies of the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown starter deck. Alright, so I actually found this challenge to be a little bit more difficult than most of them. Mostly because there is no real boss monster or extra deck card that you can try and aim for to kind of help you achieve your win condition. So I felt like this was a little bit more different than some of the other challenges that we've done before in the past. So what I decided to use was 2 copies of each of the new Pendulum Monster. I thought about using 3, but I just didn't want to clog my hand with them. And you know, since there is no extra deck cards available to me through the Super Starter Space-Time Showdown starter deck, I just felt like pendulum summoning it will not be as strong without being able to, you know, get cards into your extra deck. So going 2 of each, I think, is pretty good. So for when we do our pendulum summon, we're playing 2 of the Ether the Empowering Dragon, since it gets an effect when it is a pendulum summon. Plus the 23 attack is not too bad either. Alright, so from there, we're playing 3 copies of the Green Turtle Summoner. It's got a pretty cool flip effect that, you know, lets you destroy one of your opponent's monsters. It's kind of cool. You know, kind of Man-Eater Bug style or somewhat like Raikou. And then we playing 2 copies of the Hydro Tortoise, the Empowered Warrior. He has a flip effect as well, lets you destroy your opponent's spell or trap cards, so kind of works out kind of nicely. I'm only playing 2 of him because we do have Mystical Space Typhoon available to us, so I don't really feel like, you know, you need 3 of him in the deck. From there, we've got some normal monster beatdown cards, such as Luster Dragon, Dark Blade, and then 2 of the Warrior Degraffers. And that kind of rounds up the monster count. So really, we're just trying to get some monsters out there and try and get in there with some attacks. And that's really the best we can kind of hope for. And then we'll beat our opponent's cards off with our spells and traps. Okay, so for spells, we are using our 1 copy of Darkhold that we were able to get from our Power Up pack. Okay, and then we have Lightning Vortex to go with this. One of the reasons why we're playing Lightning Vortex is because, we need more ways of destroying our opponent's monsters, but the normal monsters are pretty good discard fodder, and so are the Pendulum monsters. We can get rid of them when, we don't need them, or they're not working out for us, or something like that. From there, we're playing 3 copies of MST, because why not? We have 3 available to us from the, the starter deck, so we might as well utilize it. For our draw power, we're playing 3 of the Supply Squads, because it's a pretty good card, and hopefully it works well. We're also using 1 of the Dark Factory of Mass Production, since we are playing normal monsters, and we do have discard outlets such as Lightning Vortex and some of the trap cards that I will get to in just a moment. This will allow us to recycle our normal monsters. Alright, so for traps, we're playing 2 copies of the Sakuretsu Armor, 2 copies of Trap Hole, 2 copies of Regeki Break. This is another discard outlet for our normal monsters. 2 copies of Shadow Spell. This is pretty cool because it will stop our opponent's monster from attacking. So if it's something that might not be able to be destroyed by a card effect, at least you can stop it from going forward with the attack, and it lowers their attack points, so hopefully you can attack over it the next turn, maybe something like, I don't know, Tyrus or something like that. From there, we're playing 2 copies of 7 Tools, and then to add a little bit more speed, we're playing 2 copies of Jar of Greed. And that's pretty much going to round up all the cards that are in the deck. So, in the comment section below, remember, let me know how you think I did with the deck that I constructed, utilizing just the cards that are available to me in the 3 Super Starter Space-Time Showdown starter decks. Also, remember, let me know what cards you think I missed that could have been more useful in the deck that were available to me from these starter decks. Or what you could do is pick up the challenge yourself. So if you don't like what I've constructed and you know you can do better, create your own version of a deck utilizing just the cards that are available in these starter decks. Post it up on your channel and then leave it as a video response via a link in the comment section of this video. If you don't own these cards in real life, do not fear. Merely go up on DevPro or DN or whatever you use and construct the deck on there. But remember, you can only use the cards that are available in the Super Starter Space Time Showdown starter deck. And I guess that's going to do it for now. This is GalacticGod.